evening, everyone. Welcome, welcome. So excited that you have joined us tonight for a topic that I'm just really excited about. I don't know what's about to happen just because this is a topic that comes up every time we get to the holiday season, every time the clock strikes and it's December 1st. This is the conversation that people have, and I'm excited to be able to really discuss it. I've never discussed it with anybody. I've never shared my thoughts and my feelings. I've never really asked other people what their thoughts are. I've not even been approached by someone. So this is going to be really good, to be able to talk about something that even when you go and look it up and you type it up and you research it, you see all of the controversy. You even see cases that have gone to court about religion being expressed in certain places. It's just wow, when it comes to what you believe, what you feel, and your expression of it. But man, tonight is really about one thing and one thing only. Man, what is the big deal about saying Merry Christmas, which means Merry Christ more Christ is what it means when everybody gets upset when you say that and say, no, it is Happy Holidays. Okay, and what's the big deal? So we got to talk about it, and I'm open to anything, but I already know where I sit and where I stand, and I ain't moving, but I'm open. I said I'm open to hear. So welcome. Before we get started, you guys, I got to do one thing and one thing only before I bring my co-host. Layton, what's up, Layton? Oh my God, I'm so excited that you watch me every week with your mom. And that you told your mom, hey, I really like this show and I got to talk with you. And I know that you're going to watch every single show. And being so young like you are, to love the Superhero for Christ show, to love the superhero, page, I just can't tell you. I get tears in my eyes, Layton, because you're real young. And to think that you're the second youngest boy that has reached out to me, Rachel's, grandson's the same way, really young. And it's like, oh my God, I love watching her show. So I just want to make sure before I do anything, Layton, thank you for being one of my followers, one of my fans, but more importantly, thank you for being my heart, because I have loved you ever since you were itty bitty. And I'm really excited that you enjoy the Casey-Arnold page, Superhero for Christ, and that you love this show also, Superhero for Christ show. Man, Layton, rock on, superhero. And so with that, you guys, let me welcome, my co-host with me. Sorry, I had to shout Layton out, y'all. Y'all just don't understand. Layton is like true diehard fan, and I just promised his mama I will shout him out, no doubt. So welcome, co-host. I know we got Jeff, who says he should be arriving soon. He's going to scoodle-daddle in. And let me just kind of put myself a little closer. There we go. So we're all kind of symmetrically even. So welcome, you guys. Let me unmute the Skype option here. It says it's muted, but we'll find that out here in a second. I don't think so, but we'll see. So let me welcome X and see if we can hear X. Hey, X, welcome back, brother. It's been like 3 weeks, and we're still counting, actually. How are you doing?
Oh man, I'm feeling a lot better actually. The last 2 weeks when you guys had the show, watching them and just everything, commenting, like man, I wish I was there right now, but I can't be, and it sucks. But I'm here today. I'm feeling a lot better. I thank everybody for the prayers. It means a lot. Like I felt the prayers, and God was definitely working. There's a lot of symptoms that I didn't go through, which I thought I was gonna go through as a person that has asthma, but I didn't go through any of the horrible conditions which I thought I was, which was incredible. And I know that's a God thing, and that's all y'all's prayers. So again, thank you. I'm grateful for you.
Oh, well, it's so good to have you here, brother. Now I'm gonna always pick on you because you're my little brother. You have not tested negative yet. Is that a dang broom behind you? Have you been cleaning? Xavier? There's a broom or a mop behind you, and I told you to stop cleaning until you get better.
I haven't been cleaning. That's just there.
Whatever.
Once you got on me for sanitizing, I stopped. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna touch anything. I'm done.
Oh man, me and the Soul Sisters got on you. We were like, look, we need all 10 back to health and all zeros on symptoms. Why are you cleaning? And the very next day, you're all coughing and in pain. And I'm like, man. So I am excited to have you back, brother. We're going to get that negative test, don't you worry. But God is really healing your body. So excited to have you back. We've really missed you. And then going down, man, let me make sure I do all my adjustments, get all my boys, being all symmetrically even here. Let me come over here to Byron. And Byron, I want to make sure that it's just my signal that's acting up, to make sure I see you okay. For some reason, you're kind of cloudy and fadey. I don't know if you're seeing the same thing. You're shaking your head like, yeah, what's up with that? I don't know, but I am excited to have you here.
I have no idea. But Jeff is online if you can add him. I can see him.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right, Jeff. We're going to add you right now, bro. We can't have this discussion without you. Jeff, I see you and I got you. Matter of fact, that was an easy ad. You just slid in the corner. That was kind of smooth, God, how you did that. Add smooth brother Jeff on, looking all spiffy. So I'm going to come to you next. And Byron, what this allows us to do, if you do need to log off, you can log off and get reconnected, and it'll just do the same thing. It won't change any of the views. So do what you got to do if you want to do that, Byron. Jeff, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty amazing, actually. It's been a good week so far.
Jeff, have you been working out? You looking kind of buff over there. Man, you look like you're ready to bounce the nightclub when COVID's over.
See, this is the thing. I'm taking advantage of X being sick and dropping weight to catch up with him.
I noticed that. You see how lean and skinny and scrawny I am now? Like my chin and all that. I'm looking at Jeff and I'm like, man, he stole my game.
Take advantage, Jeff.
I'm heading to 240, man. I'm heading to 240.
Woo, man. Look at you, Jeff. You're looking good. And those are the kind of shirts you need to be wearing, bro. Don't leave the house. That's a superhero shirt. When you walk out, people know, I don't know who he is, but he's somebody. And that's what we want for the Lord. So be wearing those little tight-fitted shirts, Jeff. You're looking fantastic, brother. Looking fantastic. And then next, look at him slide in. God is just having y'all slide in kind of smooth, Byron. Like literally, I would be going to you next. And you popped off, and you just popped right back on, all smooth and everything. So I'm going to zoom in with you. Woo! Byron, you're looking good tonight. Byron, how are you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Hear me okay? Yeah, you can hear me okay.
Yeah,
I'm doing good. Doing good, sis. Glad to be here.
Awesome. Glad to have you as well.
I just want to give a heads up. It might be a war on Christmas tonight. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I think so. It's going to be a hot topic, y'all. It is going to be a hot topic. And last but not least, over here in the corner, but right underneath me is my other half, the love for my life down here, you guys, is Mr. Q Dog. Excited to have you in the house as well. How are you doing tonight, love?
I'm doing fantastic, my dear. And I'm planting my flag for Christmas. So.
Oh, this is going to be really good. This is going to be a really good conversation. And before we get started with diving in with question number 1 of Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays, let me, of course, just do some quick shout outs to everybody who's joined and all co-hosts. If you see somebody, shout them out too. Say hello, text them, and let them know that. Man, welcome, Sarah, again. So glad you're on with Leighton. I cannot tell you what my heart feels like right now. And just prayers to you as Sarah goes to lay her sister down to rest tomorrow. And literally, her mom just passed away a couple months ago. So she's stepping up. She's being that strong person. So lifting up you and your family, Sarah, for tomorrow. Welcome, Easlyn Eagle-Eye. Man, you are a regular, bro. I can't wait till you get that top fan icon because you're hopping on every time I'm on live. Good to see you. Hubert Smith, you know I got mad love for you. You should have an icon by now, too. So excited to have you on with me tonight. Garnetta Lynn. Oh, man, what a beautiful name. Elicon. Welcome to Superhero Core Price Show. Excited to have you. Miss Eva, welcome. Glad you love the jams all the way from California. Alma Salazar, welcome. Man, my beautiful Kim Martin is in the house. Welcome. So glad that you're here. Joanna Perez, sister, glad you're able to join us live tonight. You're always having to catch those replays, so excited to have you here tonight. Samantha Davis Hall, welcome. So glad you're here. Max, welcome back. So excited to have you here, brother. Thank you for joining us tonight. The beautiful Monica Mitchell, man, welcome. Glad to have you always in the house. Kamoya Taylor, Manuel Sion, Karina Stipik, all of you new superheroes, welcome. So excited to have you join us tonight. Manuel Sion, welcome, welcome. Samantha Davis, man, good evening to you too. Good evening to you too. Regina Melendez and lovely Letitia Fight, girl, standing with you as you're taking those rounds of pills of chemo, standing with you, every single one. Take them, girl, and work it out, because we know God has worked it out already. So excited. Mama O is in the house. Hey, Mama O. Man, excited. Sister Rachel, excited to have you. Sharon Henry, Marta Aras. Man, God bless you too, Jake. Man, God bless you. Jason Young is in the house. Man, Sever Everts, man, I've missed you. So glad you're in the house. And Jeanette Watson. Man, welcome, everybody. If you could make sure to share this as we get started. And as you comment, because we want your comments, I'm going to pop it up right here, on the screen, you guys. Like, for example, let me put one. We got one from Monica Mitchell. Greetings. So we're going to have a community tonight as we dive into a great topic. This is a great topic. This is a topic that I feel like, how can we be a superhero for Christ show and be coming into Christmas and not discuss this topic? And just kind of, I'll be honest with you, as I said in the opening, I haven't had anybody approach me. I haven't had a situation. I have heard people say happy holidays. I've watched shows that used to say Merry Christmas now say, it's happy holidays. Man, one of my favorite shows. I mean, I guarantee you, I'm the one keeping that bank alive for my boy, Stephen Amell, because I've watched my whole seasons at least 10 times over, is I heard Felicity tell Oliver that. I'm like, what? When in episode 1, Oliver had a cross on his chest. Come on. So I'm just wondering, ready to talk about it, want to hear your thoughts. Let's talk about it. You share your thoughts. Let's pop it up. Let's discuss it tonight, you guys. And so with that, I'm going to go to my co-host as we talk about this topic. And you know what? And we're going to take a break in the middle because I want to talk about our 12 days of Christmas. I want people to see the gifts that we're going to be giving away, because next Saturday, you guys, we'll be right here where we're going to be giving away, I think it's 17 gifts that we're giving away. I'm going to have several elves with me that have decided to say, look, we got it in our heart. We want to contribute as well. And so it's going to be a fun show next Saturday, you guys. We're going to talk about it here midpoint. I'm going to play a quick video so you can see all the things that are coming up next week. And you'll see all the advertising of who the elves are next week and what those gifts are and even the descriptions of each one. And so with that, let's start off. I'm going to start off with you, Jeff. Okay? What do you feel Christmas is about for you?
Oh my goodness. So Christmas for me is the celebration of the birth of Christ, who actually gave the ultimate gift to all of us. And that I believe that the season of it allows us to spend time with people and fellowship and share our stories, to allow people to understand what the season is about. I think, obviously Christmas is celebrated by people. Christmas is celebrated by non-believers, and I think that's the opportunity for us to have that conversation with them. But it's about the birth of Christ. The one who gave us the ultimate gift of being able to exist and have conversations and have redemption and have the opportunity to make it to heaven.
Mm-hmm. I love that. So I like the way you said it's literally not only his birth, but his birth was also a gift to us. And then lo and behold, he gave a gift of his life. Wow, that's pretty powerful. I like that. And so I'm going to come over to you, Byron. I see you kind of looking to the side. I don't know what Byron's about to say. He's looking too good tonight in his white, y'all. So don't let Byron fool you. When he shows up looking really good, just sit back. Y'all, that's all I got to say. So Byron, what does Christmas mean to you?
Well, I can't disagree with Jeff. I'm almost always, in sync with him. So I'm gonna take a different take on it though, because
I knew it.
Serious,
you were looking too
being
good.
Serious, yes, being serious. I would go with exactly what Jeff said. It is about Jesus Christ and his sacrifice, ultimate sacrifice, and his birthday. But it must have something to do with receiving gifts, drinking eggnog, those types of things. Yeah, those important things beyond beyond what's really most important to us. It's being able to celebrate, the expectation of celebration, expectation of spending time with family. Maybe thinking about those persons who aren't able to be with you, those types of things. Yep.
That's good. So I love that. So ultimately for you, it's celebrating the birth of Christ and who he is.
Definitely.
But you say we can't just stop there. We got to also be about the celebration of it, not just say it, but celebrating.
Well, because we're all so busy, right? I mean, we have to take advantage of every opportunity we have. As Christians, right? We want to fellowship. To Jeff's point, it's an opportunity for us to talk about, give thanks to Jesus Christ. It's an opportunity to talk about, Christianity and our religious beliefs as a whole, and our practices, right? Those things that are important to us, those traditions, maintaining those traditions as much as we can, with some of the challenges we have as far as being a country that has grown to be so diverse. So.
Okay. I'm going to come to you last, Q. And so I'm going to go up. Man, X, we're at the top up here, you and me. Man, we've been hanging out a lot. That God says, y'all been hanging out a lot. Let's put y'all up here. Xavier, especially, and again, it may be the same, but each culture, like Puerto Rican culture, Hispanic culture, Spanish culture, Christmas could be something different. And so what does Christmas mean to you?
So
besides
Christmas,
Mama O's cooking.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I said besides Mama O's good cooking.
So the tasty food. So Christmas means the tasty food.
It does mean the tasty food.
And that's an inside joke.
Tasty.
But Christmas ultimately means the birth of Jesus Christ, of course. I'm in total agreement with Jeff, and I'm total agreement with Byron, because Christmas is a part where it's the holiday season. So it's gathering with your family, unifying, celebrating. In Hispanic cultures, we're celebrating. You got music playing. We're roasting the pig outside. And we got coquito, which is the eggnog, and all that stuff. And they're celebrating and all that, But, different people see it as different ways, your presence and all that stuff. But I see it more as the birth of Jesus Christ. That's the ultimate reason for Christmas. That's how I feel.
That's awesome. That is really awesome. Thank you for sharing, especially, I know your family goes all out in the holidays. We know because we get the little video clips, on Facebook or, over on Instagram if you're on there. So we know that. That is really awesome. Quint, I really like to come to you last because a good, I don't know how many years of your life, Christmas time, you were away. You were, focused in military. You were deployed, even when you were here, you were focused on the military. It's like an engulfed thing. And so I would really love to know, especially coming out of the military life and then the Lord putting two complicated women in your life who literally, and I hope you talk about this, where holidays, really weren't as big to you, but Christmas was. And so I really want you to kind of share what Christmas means to you.
Yeah, thanks, honey. And it is, to me, it is all about the birth of Jesus and celebrating that and worshiping him with gladness and thanksgiving, and gratitude. And that's where the gift giving for me gets in there. But it's also, because of my time in the military, it's also a time of rest and recuperation. And I say that, and I'll share a story. In 2002, when I got to Fort Stewart, Georgia, as a young major, right? That's how it is as a young major.
Lost X. There it goes.
Starting in July, we started planning for the war. It was all top secret, and I didn't have a day off because we deployed before Thanksgiving. I didn't have a day off until we got to Christmas, right? So I spent Christmas deployed, but I put my tree up. I put my tree up before I left because they said we may be home. So young Major Arnold has a thought that may happen. So the tree went up, didn't happen. But the one day off I got was Christmas while we were in Kuwait, and we sat in our PT gear in our tent all day long watching the Band of Brothers. So that was like the one day that we didn't have to do any work, and we got to rest and break and just enjoy. But I had Christmas in July when I came home the next year.
Yeah.
But it, but just all of, I mean, you add all those up, it's really about spending time with family, taking a break and resting and reflecting on your year, the things that happened and what the Lord done in your life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And what does that mean for me going forward as you move in toward the new year?
Mm-hmm.
So that's some additional things that it means to me.
Hmm. That's really awesome. And I know with you being, like I said, inducted into me and Brianna, and then now to have a little one just like us, who's just like us, another mini us, you learned from me and Byron's upbringing that Christmas was not only about celebrating Christ, but it was truly about showing those that you love how much you love them. My mother, back in the day, her way of showing her love was when Christmas Day came. You couldn't even make it into the living room. She had so many boxes of gifts, where it literally started, and I'm exaggerating only a little bit. I'm only over exaggerating a tad, right, Byron? Like literally a half of an inch, because by the time you tried to turn the corner, they were already down the hallway going into the room. It was just like, wow, because my mother wasn't someone who could show love affectionate. So it was her way of finally saying, look, I can't show love affectionately, but this is my way of showing love. And it was just, it was an amazing feeling. It was a feeling of just awe, and it definitely was, for me, and has always been about, celebrating the Lord, even having time with the Lord, not being so busy with everybody else that you forget to spend time with him, to be about him. And so Christmas has always been a big deal in our family. And I really hated it when I started getting older and I couldn't be a kid and sleep in because mama had me now as an elf, making all these gifts, putting them all together for all these kids we started having. I was tired Christmas Day. I'm like, can I sleep in? But to see then the next generation, because mama was still alive then, and to see them open up their gifts and just be loud and, and full of joy. It was just, our house was full, on Christmas Day for sure. And the cooking was just off the chain. My mama was the type on Christmas Day, she didn't care. She made her Mexican enchiladas that were off the chain. And if she didn't make it, we had an attitude, They were so good. Her Mexican enchiladas were great, So that's kind of what Christmas, means. And it does mean really reflecting. Somebody said that, Q, really reflecting and looking at the things that God has done. And so let's dive in, because it's right on time, for our tough questions here. And so I'm going to start, with you, Byron. What do you think, or why do you think the whole debate of Merry Christmas versus Happy Holidays has now become an issue where for years, going back into I've got an article here, and if I could find it quick enough, I really would love to read it, just a little snippet of it, but it goes all the way back to 1534. 1534, when it was about Merry Christmas. And so all of a sudden now it's a big deal when people say that, or people tell you, on even when you're in front of camera and everything, to say Happy Holidays so you don't offend somebody. So Byron, what are your thoughts on that? Let's go for it. Let's go.
Definitely. So I'll have to say, and I'm just gonna set it up for me. Probably I may not stay consistent with this through all the questions, but I take exception. I'm just gonna put it out there. I take exception to any movement toward minimizing, its intent. What Christmas means, at the, from when it first, became a practice to what it's been for many and many of years. I do not want to lessen that. I don't mind appending to it, adding to it. One thing I wanted to add to was, as far as this season, I love that term, because it's also a time that we think about those who are less fortunate, and we tend to reach in our pockets a little deeper and give to those persons who have struggled, right? It's something we should do all the time, but I like the added emphasis that we have. I think it has become, today, And I tell my daughter, I said, it seems that at some point we're going to look back and say there was an age of being PC, an era of political correctness and sensitivity, right? Or I understand the motivation toward inclusivity and diversification. I struggle, however, with, and of course, it absolutely, one of the reports that we looked at, Tracy, right? There's a divide politically,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And I can easily understand why there would be a divide politically, right? And that's a challenge. That is a challenge. But I think some of it may be politically driven, but the other piece is, as far as literally trying to appease the masses, which I don't say that so much in the negative sense as much as it is truly what we're trying to do. We're trying to, with any challenge that comes before us, especially when it comes to traditions, right? Things that we've traditionally done, we're trying to water it down in the sense that it fits all, right? I think in some instances
That's a good way of saying it.
that is a bad effort, a bad attempt. Meaning, I'm an advocate for or I feel strongly in supporting other beliefs. Absolutely do, but I don't want to do anything, or I'm gonna try to avoid minimizing someone else's beliefs and their practices, to support and appease the whole. Meaning, I want to be afforded the right to express my belief, which there are arguments that say that some would say that when you say Merry Christmas to someone, it is not necessarily that I'm trying to force Christianity down your throat. I am letting you know where I come from. This is where Byron comes from. I'm saying I am happy. I want you to enjoy my happiness this time and what I'm celebrating. I'm not saying you have to, right? But I'm letting you know where I come from. And so I feel pretty strongly about that. I mean, that to me, I want to maintain that. I understand the challenges, and I think we're going to talk about that later, so I won't go into that because but that's where I'm coming from. The motivation to be politically correct, to minimize those traditions that necessarily are not received openly or willingly by others. That is absolutely what we are doing today. And I think there's some risk that goes with that. You can go you can go too far with that.
Yeah. And I like that a lot. Man, I'm going to go to UX. I'm trying to mix it up here. I'm going to go to UX. So talk to me about this. Why do you think this has become, such a big deal out of all these years when it wasn't a big deal? Why do you think that?
I feel, of course, everything in life has to do with business and money, right?
Go. X is like, it's all about business and money, sis. Go. Politics, business, and money. Go.
Everything has to go with marketing strategies to impress everybody, to make everybody feel, as one rather than just one culture, one society. So that's why I think recently it's, become something where, a lot of people get offended for different reasons. People get offended at homosexuality, and
and a shirt you wear. Yeah.
And it's the same way with religion. People get upset with it. Like my whole thing is, I've never said happy holidays to anyone. This is the first time I actually, I've heard it on commercials and all that, but I've never had anybody come to me and say, hey, happy holidays. Like, I would be like, huh? It's Merry Christmas. What are you talking about, bro? So I've never had anybody actually do that to me. So when this topic came up, I was kind of like, hey, this is, I guess, I see it all over commercials. Like, you see Gap commercials and it's like happy holidays and it's the season, blah, 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 and all that stuff.
Go.
But to me, it's more business, marketing, advertising, and commercialization.
Because they don't want to lose the money.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
If I could put hearts and flowers right here, I would. Because that was, what? And now I know I got to wait for Jeff because I can't have both of y'all back to back because I know where y'all minds are at. So I'm coming over here to Q. Jeff, I was going to go to you next, but after what Xavier said, I can't. So Quentin, let me come to you. Why do you think this is a big deal? What is going on? Talk to me, babe. And real quick, I need y'all to talk to me. I want y'all, I can tell that you guys love the show because y'all listen a lot. But man, communicate with us. Tell us your thoughts. Why do you guys think, that this is a big deal? And so Quint, over to you.
Yeah, I think that Christmas has been under attack for a couple of decades. I used to watch Bill O'Reilly when he was on Fox before he left there. He wrote a book called Culture War, I think is what it's called, or Culture Warrior. He used to every year at Christmas would always talk about how a certain portion of society was, as X or Byron has talked about, being politically correct and trying to change our culture, right, from a more Christian, Judeo-Christian based culture to something else, more humanistic approach to it. And so, Christmas is about Christ, and that's not what they want. So they've got to change that. So how do you change it? You rename. One of the ways is you rename it, and then you force it down people, and you get offended when people don't use the term, right? Kind of like what he was saying is that just because I say Merry Christmas doesn't mean I'm trying to force that on you. That's where I'm coming from. But no, I get offended by that, right? It's just it's that cultural change that they're trying to force on the nation or on our culture. So that's why I think this has become an issue. But it's been an issue. It's been happening, like I said, for a couple of decades.
Yeah, it has. You use that word a lot, Q, normalize. You say when people want to try to get something to become the norm, you see these little changes, like you say, and they kind of force it down your throat, just kind of abruptly, almost, like you're going to watch this. If you're going to watch this, then you're going to see this little by little to where eventually you become numb to it. And then it becomes part of society, which means if we don't say anything and we just continue to move forward, it becomes the norm, is what you're kind of saying. That's really good, Q. All righty. So, Jeff, I'm ready for you. Okay. So why do you think that this is, a big deal?
Well, my first observation is that social media has provided a platform for people to say whatever they want to say.
Go, Jeff.
And so I think it's become an issue because some people who didn't feel like they were being heard or felt like they could create some chaos have stepped out and created it. So you have that portion. The other portion is that from an economic standpoint, as X talks about, is if you call it Happy Holidays, when do you start that holiday? You can't start Christmas at Halloween.
My God, I knew it. I knew not to put y'all back to back. Oh my gosh, that is so good.
But you start Happy Holidays there, and now you can run this long marketing campaign. We used to have Black Friday. Black Friday also has Cyber Monday. Now you have Cyber Week. And so they just keep you in this frenzy thinking that you're going to miss out on something. So it helps them cash in on the dollars.
Wow.
The thing that always amazes me is that when people talk about making the change because it offended others, offense says there is an intent. And me telling you Merry Christmas has no intention to harm you. Like X was saying, that's where I'm coming from. So, there's a skit by Cat Williams where he talks about, what's he called? Self-esteem.
Crazy boy.
He goes, it's esteem of yourself. So how you feel got to do with me making you feel that way?
Come on, that's good.
So
that's good.
We're sharing with people where we're coming from, and we do it every day in some way by saying hello or good day. So I don't know why all of a sudden we get to Christmas and Merry Christmas, which is essentially a greeting, becomes offensive.
Yeah.
Being offended at that level is a choice. Yeah. It's not a commitment by anybody else. It's a choice. You can simply take their greeting. It's kind of like telling someone who speaks Japanese and they say, "Anate nanamae wa nanadesu," and they're asking you a question. You being offended they don't speak English.
Oh, that happens a lot in this country.
It's like,
you're in America. You should be speaking English. You hear that a lot.
So you're denying who that person is,
right?
As a choice to have your comfort come first.
That's good.
That's just weird.
That's really
So
good.
I think that it mainly comes from the ability for people to have voices and for people who don't have their own thought process to follow with them and follow in the routine. But I think the media and the retailers have taken it on as an opportunity to expand the time frame that they get to capture those dollars.
That's good.
I tell people happy holidays after Halloween because I'm talking about Thanksgiving and Christmas together. But when we get close to Christmas,
That's
we're
good.
talking about food is happy Thanksgiving.
Come on.
And Christmas is Merry Christmas.
Christmas.
And that's a specific time of year that we're celebrating something.
That's good.
And that's me acknowledging where I stand.
That's good.
And hopefully it opens up a conversation, even if it's not a healthy one at first.
Yeah.
Because you get some people who want to, why would you believe in it? But I've learned to let that be an opportunity for me to share because I don't have the burden of proof. All I have is my testimony.
Yeah.
I don't have to convince them of anything. That's all on them.
That's good.
So
that's really good.
I just think that we've got a voice and people can put stuff out there and be offended by whatever they want to. And I just think that, it takes a lot to offend me. You can only offend me if we've clarified where I stand and you choose to do something that
or to speak to that
intrudes upon that or attacks that.
Yeah.
And then it becomes an attack and you can choose to be offended by that person's behavior, knowing where you come from. But for someone to say something to me out in public and their position is that I have this joy and I want to share it with you, to be offended by that is just weird to me.
Well, I'm really excited to hear what you got to say when we get to that question then. When we get to the other question, I'm like, man, I don't know. This is really good, you guys. And again, we want to know what you think. Okay, we want to know, why do you think this has now become a big deal? What are your thoughts? What are your feelings about it? And so our next question, and I'm going to let the guys get ready, and I'm going to do some shout outs, and I'm going to now play the video of all of the gifts we're about to give away next Saturday to make sure y'all join us next Saturday because it is a blast. This is our 4th annual, 12 Days of Christmas, and normally we're all together and we are just rare. We are extra in that moment. But this year we've got extra elves with us this year, so we're excited about that. And so with that, let me just do some shout outs and welcome some, and then I'm going to play the video, and then we're going to come back to this question. Do you feel you should have to remove your beliefs about Christmas and how you speak or even celebrate it in order to meet or not offend others around you? And have you ever even been confronted by somebody when you have? Okay, so be thinking on that, okay? Have you ever had to adjust it or something made you feel in that moment that you had to, or somebody asked you? And we're not talking, necessarily about work yet. That's the next question, okay? We're just talking about just being you and how you are with your beliefs about Christmas. And so with that, let me do some shout outs real quick. I even made it a point to keep my phone where I left off. Man, welcome Jason Young. So glad that you've joined us tonight. Man, so glad. Marlon Robinson, welcome. Sister Virginia Flores, welcome. So glad to have you here. Desmond Scott, welcome back. So glad to have you here. Daniel Harris, welcome. Glad that you've joined us tonight. Arcelia Perez, welcome to the Superhero for Christ show. Sandy Mercretti, and I never say that right. You're here still, you love me, and you're here all the time. Man, welcome, Sandy. So glad that you're here. Pastor Irvin's in the house. Pastor, so glad that you joined us tonight as well. April, man, you and Reggie in the house. So glad that you joined me. Emily Gonzalez, welcome. Jeanette Diaz Reyes, welcome. So glad you're here. And man, what a great name. Galchin Figueroa, so glad you're here. Welcome. And Harvey McGlone, welcome you guys. And if you've joined us tonight, please make sure you share this. So right now, what I'm going to do, you guys, is we are going to be celebrating our 4th annual 12 Days of Christmas. We've done it for 4 years. It started with just this feeling that I had and shared it with X and Q, and man, it's just taken off, and I just know, I can just tell it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger every year because we could keep adding on more elves every year, okay? More people that just want to give in celebration. And it was something that me and X and Quint said that, man, God has just been good to us this year, that we want to, as my mama would do, we want to celebrate that love for him by doing exactly, what the 3 kings did. They brought gifts. And so we wanted to just give away gifts. We wanted to take that and just worship the Lord, tie to the Lord, and say, Lord, we want to give. We want to bless people, bring joy to people, and get people just to come together and have a good time. And especially with 2020, the way it's been, I thought, man, we really have to do this year. Nothing can change and nothing can keep us from doing it. And so you guys, we join next Saturday, on December the 12th. It starts at 10 a.m. Central Standard, 11 East Coast. And it could go up to 3 hours, y'all, 3.5. It just depends on what all we're doing. And make sure you join us right here on the TA for Christ, Superhero for Christ page. And so with that, you guys, I want to play. This is just a snippet. This is not where I'm showcasing all of the gifts, but it is a snippet of all the gifts of what we're going to be giving away, because there's more gifts this year that we're going to be giving away next Saturday, you guys, for our 12 Days of Christmas 4th annual giveaway. And I'll be right back, you guys. Man, I don't hear any sound. Do you guys hear any sound? I can't play that video without sound. Let me tell you what I'm going to do. As you guys are answering the question, I'm going to come over here because there is sound, y'all. There's like a lot of sound, and I got to have my booming music, so I'm going to reset it. So let's go to the question, and once we answer this question, I'll come back to it because I have to have sound. I got to be jamming out to all these gifts that we're going to be giving away, and y'all didn't see them, so I snagged it just in time. And so let's go and start with you, Quint, while I do this quick video to make sure there's sound and it's good to go, because it definitely did, but I think I may have selected just the video only. And so Quint, let's go to you. So do you feel like you should have to remove your beliefs about Christmas or how you speak or even celebrate, in order to meet other people's needs, not offend them, so they don't feel like you've offended them, especially when it comes to Christmas? That means even celebrating it, the way you do it, maybe if you're out or whatever. And have you ever been confronted by someone that had a problem with the fact that you said, Merry Christmas, everybody? So I'll start with you, Quint.
The answer is no, and I don't recall anyone ever confronting me over it. But I don't think I need, or in your vernacular, I don't feel that I need to change my beliefs or not live up to or live by those beliefs, because quite frankly, the expression during Christmas is giving and a continuance of Thanksgiving, right? From Thanksgiving, because you're thankful for Christ and what Christ has done, in my life and for us as people, right? And so it's just an atmosphere of giving and of thanksgiving and thankfulness and cheerfulness, right? And glad tidings and just pleasantness, right? I mean, this whole aura about us should be about that. And so that, for me, that doesn't change whether they feel they need to say happy holidays or, me say Merry Christmas. I can still be true to my beliefs regardless. I'm still going to say Merry Christmas. You know what I mean? That doesn't change that for me. But and I have never been confronted by anyone. I've had someone, reply back happy holidays, but not in a confrontational way.
Byron, what about you?
I will also give a firm no. And yes, I had, and I'm gonna say this jokingly. Yes, I had a food challenge me with, or come back and say when I said Merry Christmas, and I won't say what his religion was, but he chose to share it with me, and I told him, I said, well, enjoy our celebration of Merry Christmas. Is what it was my response. I was like, I really don't care that you don't believe, really don't care what your religion are. I'm sorry, what your religion is. But yeah, I sure did. I sure did have that young man challenge me, and it was a young man, and I let him know what I thought about it. And we probably had a nice little conversation about it, knowing me. It probably went on and on for a minute. You know, the whole thought of you know, again, back I kind of touched on this right initially and early. You know, it is a challenge, and I'm. It's interesting. It would be more interesting if we had one of us that just had a different opinion about this whole thing, but we're all like-minded, right? You know, I told myself I was going to come on and play devil's advocate, but I couldn't do it. I was going to be the opposite of the group. I think you let off with me, so that just kind of messed me up. You know, I would be hard pressed to really pull off supporting, minimizing the use of Christmas and Merry Christmas. You know, I put down some notes. You know, in our reading, I saw where it said one state decided they were going. I think it was a state that the governor, he decided they needed to say holiday tree.
Yes.
And after a while, they figured out, okay, that just makes no darn sense, and they switched it back, right? I was like, to even go there, man, holiday tree. What else did I put down? There's a couple other ones. Oh, and then I guess if you're really going to try to minimize Christmas, I think and I think this is happening. We didn't talk about it. I think they've attacked even some of the songs, right?
Oh,
Some of the
yes.
Christmas songs.
Yes.
We haven't
We
touched
did not
on
talk
that.
about that.
And you talking about a man getting upset when you messing with my Christmas song. Don't make me break out my Christmas in the Ghetto, because I'm just gonna get real upset. You want me to change that? But no, I'm not going to. I'm not going to apologize. I will be considerate, and I will not be offended. Anyone that says Happy Holidays to me, because I understand where you're coming from. But taking exception, as that young man did with me, yeah, we had a nice conversation about it. About a lot of things that it wouldn't be nice for me to say online. But it's bold and brazen to me, to the point of saying, let's say if I was to visit Germany, right, and I take my culture or my beliefs to Germany, and I say I need you to change. You know what? I don't call it schnitzel. I need you to call it something else. Schnitzel just don't. Schnitzel, something about that term offends me, and I'm gonna need you to rename that to, I don't know what, anything but schnitzel. Okay? Because where I come from, you're not representing my culture, my beliefs, right? I'm really showing my backside
Yourself.
here right now, but it's kind of how I feel.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah, yeah.
don't go there, don't go there.
Yeah,
Schnitzel
yeah.
is gonna stay. I can't go to Germany and tell them, no, you need to rename Schnitzel. You can't come to United States, as far as I'm concerned, and tell me to rename Merry Christmas. I'm just saying. I can, but to my brother's point, if you're talking marketing, you're talking understands other things, I get it. But
Yeah.
when it comes to my salutation and me basically letting you know I'm happy about it being Merry Christmas, don't challenge me on it, please.
Yeah, I love that. Oh my God. Okay, Jeff. All right. So, Byron, you're so crazy. So, talk to me. Have you ever had a moment like this, or you've been confronted, or you felt like you needed to, maybe even, because it would have been an issue? Because, think about it. Sometimes we're in a situation where we know if we do, there will be an issue. So we find ourselves feeling like we need to change the way we celebrate or we do Christmas, or even say Christmas.
I will not deny my Christ.
Hmm.
Not gonna happen. That's a no.
Yeah.
To change who you are for the comfort of others doesn't do either one of you a service.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't. And for one, what holiday are they celebrating if it's Happy Holiday?
Mm-hmm.
There's only one out there. Just be you taking off work, getting overtime pay, all these benefits you're getting from it, and you want me to call it something other than what it is. So I just think that I've never run into a situation where someone's asked me to behave differently.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been in a situation where I've even considered it,
Mm-hmm.
because that's just not how I'm built. It's not the family I come from. It's just, my dad's nickname is Man. not boy, is man.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
we do what we think is right, and we conduct ourselves in a way that other people should know that at least that we're honorable.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be honorable for me to deny my belief system to make someone else comfortable.
That's good.
Like Byron says, I'm considerate, but my consideration would be, what is it that makes them that uncomfortable?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Probably has nothing to do with what they're trying to get me to change. So I'm considerate and want to hear that piece, and that's where our growth comes from too. Because sometimes what you hear isn't what you expect. Where that person comes from and what their experience has been and why they look at it that way sometimes isn't what we expect. So that's an opportunity for us. But I've never, in much of anything I've ever done in my life, I don't recall a situation where I've changed who I was to make someone else comfortable, with the exception of if making adjustments to my behavior made someone that I loved comfortable and gave me an opportunity to discuss what that
Come
was.
on.
That's it.
Yeah.
But for me to be out in the public and change how I represent who I am and who my family is, so that everybody else who hears what I say feels comfortable, is just a lie.
Yeah.
That's a lie.
Yeah.
So I don't play in that realm.
Gotcha. Just I ain't touching it. Kind of like how skip question, TA. I ain't touching it. I love that. Xavier,
There's
have you
not
ever
a whole
been
lot
in
of gray in military families.
You know what? And it is
There's no
military
gray
families. I hear you. Well, X, then that kind of leaves you before we go into our next question about the workplace, because that's where we really start to see, restrictions happen. And so with you, have you ever had, I think you said earlier you haven't, but have you ever felt, and really think about this, where you did have to either be silent or adjust yourself, or when it came to, you and your Christmas cheer, or how you, sung songs, or you praise and worship, or, anything. Have you ever had a situation like that, like Byron had?
I'm a very charismatic guy, so I'm like all over the place with Merry Christmas and all that. And if I offend somebody, probably offend them, and it's I'm pretty sure it happened at work once in a while. I would, I'm just out there like that. But I've never had anybody come to me and say, "Hey, man, I don't appreciate you saying Merry Christmas to me because my background is this," and I've never had that occur to me. Like, I agree with both of these gentlemen when they're talking about being considerate, because that's definitely something that you have to be, is being considerate towards other people. But at the same time, think about it. It's funny that he said schnitzel, because I love schnitzel. I'm hungry for the schnitzel right now that you said that. I'm like, man, I wish I could leave this house, go to Harker to the German restaurant, get me a Jaeger schnitzel with mushrooms all over that, and some schnitzel, and eat that all up. Oh, man, you made me so hungry. But
Xavier's not been eating like y'all. He was had COVID for a while. So.
It happens with, matter of fact, perfect story. It happens with my mom all the time. My mom, she speaks Spanish. She doesn't really speak English really good. So her main language is Spanish. So somebody like, hey, I don't appreciate your mom speaking Spanish around me.
Oh,
bro,
no, that's a good example.
She's Puerto Rican.
That's a great example.
Man. Like, you cannot tell me that, hey, you need to speak Spanish around me. Nah, homie, like, no, that's her background. That's what she speaks. Like, you're not going to say, me no speaking English. You're not going to say all crazy stuff like that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you can't change what a person is, So, with me, I'm a Christian. Like Jeff said, there's no way you're going to be able to change me. But at the same time, think about this. This is the funny thing. What does Santa Claus say? He says, ho, ho, ho.
Merry Christmas. Santa knows what's up. Santa knows who makes his paycheck.
He says, ho, 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 Merry Christmas, right? So even Santa Claus says it. So you guys are celebrating Santa Claus. Santa Claus says, ho, 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 Merry Christmas. Like, what are you talking about, man? So how you going to tell me Happy Holidays? Santa Claus been telling me ever since I was a little kid.
That's good.
Merry Christmas.
That's good.
On the movies, he says it. On the old Coca-Cola commercials, he says it. Now it's Happy Holidays, and they kind of remove Santa Claus and stuff like that.
Yeah, because they know Santa Claus, he's down with Jesus. That's where he gets his paycheck.
So That's my
Santa
point.
you said it's about money. Santa knows, wait a minute, I won't make any money if I'm over here with Happy Holidays. Y'all booed me
Let's
out.
just put Rudolph. Let's just put Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and take Santa Claus out and just make it a Rudolph commercial.
That's
And say
exactly
Happy
right.
No,
Holidays.
now Santa's got all the Mercedes, and he puts the red one up front.
There you go. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Man, that's really, really good. I absolutely, love all of your answers. And so what we're gonna do is, y'all know me, I've got to play my video real quick. Welcome, Lene Austin. Welcome, Sister Sharon Stewart, and Daddy Casey is in the house. Welcome, Sebastian Gonzalez, Trudy. Man, welcome, Trudy. So glad you've joined us tonight, love. Tatiana Rodney, welcome. Eloise Kaufman, welcome. And David Rejohn, welcome, you guys. And so with that, this is what I'm gonna do, because my video is ready, and it does have sound. So I'm gonna come over here. Screen may look a little crazy for a second, but I'm okay with that because I'm playing my video. I know my brothers know this girl's playing her video. So here we go. I'm gonna switch the screen here. And what I'm gonna do is add this video. So the screen looks a little crazy, okay? Don't worry about it. So here we go, play full screen with audio. I got my video played. Although we are playing this video. Man, let me tell y'all what's on the menu next Saturday, you guys. We've got a Mr. Coffee One Touch, Coffee House Espresso, Cappuccino, and Coffee Maker. We've got, of course, a Barbie Malibu house on the scene, a Rimkey massage gaming chair. And I don't know if y'all saw that. That is the top of the line gaming chair. We've also got a Ninja FD Foodie that is a pressure cooker and also a slow cooker and air fryer. Also, we've got a Fusion portable gym, a really nice one that you can have right in your home. And then on top of that, you guys, we also have in the house a Hamilton Beach breakfast sandwich maker. We got one of those massage guns, you know the one. Woo! We also have an iRobot vacuum where all you do, it does everything for you. It is an iRobot that vacuums your whole house. You can set it and program it what days, and it turns on and turns off all on its own, y'all. That's some good stuff. We got a Roblox gift card for all of those gamers out there. We got the Conair. We got a hair blow dryer and also the HSI straightener. Come on now. And we also have the latest lava hot steak stone plate with also a cold lava rock. If you guys have not seen that, it's one of the latest things that are out. We've got that, giving that away. We also have a Furbo dog full cam center where now you can have your whole house set up to watch your dog while you're gone, when COVID leaves, of course. And then we also have a dad survival gear that has like fishing hooks and knives and everything that a man needs, all of his toys, you guys. And then we also have a Club Champ Deluxe golf bag, a Fire HD 10 tablet, you guys. Woo! Let's see, where else am I? Who am I missing? Next, did I do yours? I think I did everybody. And the grand prize, you guys, if you've not seen them, I need you to go Google it so you do not miss it. This sucker is expensive. It is the Oculus Quest 2. It is the goggles you put on, and you literally have different scenes, different places, different games where you go in, and it's virtual reality where you're in it. Woo, y'all got to go look that bad boy up, y'all. That's like, man,
That's
I can
Ready
just see
Player One, right?
Do what, Quentin?
That's Ready Player One.
Yes,
right
it
there.
is. No, I'm going to be on a beach during COVID season. I'm just going to put my glasses on and be on a beach, be in Miami, be wherever I need to be, and call Garcion to come bring me my iced tea. That's where I'm going to be. You guys need to go look it up because that is our grand prize this year, you guys. And we're really excited about that. So make sure you join us next week. You will see all the elves, who they are next week, and all the gifts with the description so that you know, man, they're serious about giveaway. And if you ever want to go and look, we really do give it to you. If you go and look on my page, you can look from year before year, and you'll see all the pictures of those winners that have received it, because one of the things I require if you win, when you get it, and we track it all the way until you receive it, is that you got to take a picture with it so we can post it and people know that when you come to hang out with us, we are serious about really celebrating the Lord and blessing people to celebrate Christmas, you guys. So with that, let's talk about the workplace, you guys. Woo! Now, I know right now we're in COVID season. And I think because the Lord is restructuring earth and we just don't realize it because he's that kind of God. He could be moving us and we don't even know we're being moved. Okay? He could be separating. We don't even know we're being separated. But of course, when it comes to the workplace, even if you're, on a video conference, even if you are in a workplace and you're wearing masks, this is where there's been cases, legal cases, where people wanted to celebrate, wanted to pray even, okay, to celebrate, when it came to Christmas. And boy, talk about one of the hottest places of all. And we're not even going to go to the schools. Okay, we're just going to talk about this. And so I'm going to come over to you, Xavier, first on this one. So have you ever had it? And this is kind of an interesting question for you and Quint, because it really wasn't necessarily about Christmas, but you could keep it to that. But have you ever had an issue, or do you feel that in the workplace, you should be able to express Christmas, your religious beliefs during the holidays? Or do you feel that in the workplace, that's the one place you need to understand you're around other people, so you need to check that at the door? What are your thoughts, Xavier?
Here are my thoughts.
Welcome, Vanetta.
when it comes to the workplace, right? So the workplace, you are an employee to that workplace, right? So you're not the owner, entrepreneur, and the boss of that workplace, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Obviously, they're gonna put the stipulations of, well, you work for me, so you're gonna do what I tell you to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's the type of environment a lot of people are in, and it's whether or not you're gonna be, your character and your integrity means everything to you when you stick to the decision that what you are. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy because it's funny. I'll tell a quick story. I've never had that happen where somebody was telling me like, "Hey, you can't do that here at the workplace or whatever." But there was a situation where I'll never forget this either. I will never forget this. So every potluck that we used to have every month at the OIG, Quit would pray, right? So Quit would pray.
Holiday season potluck.
Pray, hands down. Everybody was like, "Hey, hold up. Nobody can eat. Quit, bless us." And he'll pray, right? There was this one employee, right, that sat next to me. I'll never forget. I will never forget what she said after he prayed. She was like, "I don't know why he prays. He's not supposed to be doing that in the workplace." And I looked at her and I was just like, "Because that's what we do here."
Come on.
And said, because that's what we do here. and it was kind of like, it was like a shock to her, but at the same time, I'm like, yo, like, that's what we do here. Like, everybody in here, we created an environment that was a great environment, and everybody was, coming to offices for prayers and asking us for prayers or asking us to, just different things, So, but like I mentioned in the beginning, if you're an entrepreneur and you're a boss of a workplace, you could do whatever you want. But if you're an employee of that workplace, guess what? They're going to expect you to do what they tell you to do because you're an employee. And in the state of Texas, there's something that's called at will, and they can let you go whenever they want to let you go without
At
any
their
reason.
will.
I don't like that black hat you're wearing, Xavier.
Oh, yeah.
We don't have. In matter of fact, we don't even have to tell you why we're going to let
That's
you go.
right.
Here's your letter.
We
And we're
can
just
make it
gonna let
about
you
your
go.
wife's company and let you go.
Anyway,
Inside joke, y'all.
I'm gonna
Inside joke.
over to you.
Sorry, just had to take my moment. Go ahead.
Yeah, like, oh man,
That's too funny.
here it goes.
I say that. All right, so thank you, X, for that. Jeff, what
You're
about
welcome.
you? What are your thoughts there?
Well, to me, it's kind of cut and dry. So do they have the right? Yes. If you create something and you're taking the risk and you're directing the business, you have the right. But what you'll see is that the companies that have the best performance have created a culture where they understand what should be allowed in the workplace.
That's so good. That's good.
So people who understand that have a lot of success because people stay places where they feel welcome.
And they feel they fit. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But those leaders are usually pretty good too at helping people understand what it is to be self-expressive and what it is to be intrusive upon others. And so I think that's the thing that you have. Obviously, Quentin X created a culture where everybody felt comfortable, and this one person was observing it from the outside, wanting to know why it was taking place. And it was taking place because you created a culture where that was what was acceptable, and people began to expect that, most likely.
Yeah.
So I know as an employer, I've always, as an employer and as a leader, as a manager, I've always considered what would produce the best result for my people in the business and what would produce the best result for them as I cater to them going back out into the world,
That's good.
representing what their experience was with me. So I think when you find the people who get all that, you find environments where everything works, you can have conversations, you don't have conflict. You have places where you have a lot of conflict right there.
Yeah.
Watch them.
Yeah.
They won't be around long.
That's right. That's right. I like that. I like that. That's why I think
More the employees who are there won't be around long, who don't get that that's
they won't
kind of
be.
what culture is.
But that's why I think universities have had to really migrate to that. You don't see a university who doesn't have a club for this, a club for that, or representation for this, a room for that. It's for that reason. If not, they'd go to another university. As you and X said, it's about money. So they are going to make sure everybody feels they fit, and this is a university they can come to. So I absolutely love that. Byron, what about you? What are your thoughts here?
Byron takes exception to the stipulations, but I work for a large company, right? And I think with most corporate America, they're going to play it safe. They're going to minimize, those traditions, those things that are typically done that people can potentially take exception to. But I applaud any company or organization that would do as Jeff, mentioned. I find it kind of ironic in any large company, let's say one that may cater to a certain group of members, and they maintain the practice of playing the national anthem, or or celebrating the flag, right? Which all I'm behind, right? But if you're going to hold up that principle, why would you not hold up God, right? Because in my mind, it's God, country, or God, family, country, or God, country, family.
Right.
It's not country, sacrifice, my beliefs as far as religion goes, and going and so on and so forth. So I just think it's kind of twisted. To me, if you're going to hold up any one tradition or practice as a large organization, why would it not be one of Christianity? Why would it not be one of being able to express your religious beliefs openly, right? Why not that first? Not, nothing against the flag. I'm totally on board for that, right? Before every, gathering, we're gonna salute the flag, right? You're gonna do that. But why wouldn't we not say if we're gonna have a meal, be able to pray over the meal, and without having to be worried about it offending someone.
Yeah, that's good.
You don't have to participate.
Yeah.
Let those that as a tradition want to. I'll say this. I will pray. I don't even if my organization, I mean, to myself naturally.
Right.
But if I'm gathered at a table with coworkers and our organization doesn't want us to express ourselves outwardly about that, I will still, and everyone at the table will respect the fact that I'm having a moment that I'm gonna say grace over my food, right? You can only do so much. At the end of the day, like the guys say, if you want to stay employed, you're going to have to tolerate, but I don't have to necessarily turn over completely or sacrifice my beliefs completely in order to stay employed. So I do what I do.
Wow, that's really good. That's really, really good, because I do very strongly believe in that. It kind of goes back to what everybody is saying, and companies that will create a culture, so that people don't feel like they can't be themselves, are those best companies to work for. And so I think that just leaves you, Q, to kind of answer this question. And then we're going to ask the last question, and I'm going to do one of those fire questions where you only have 2 minutes to answer because it's a hot question. And so, Quint, on this one here, so, kind of, share with me your thoughts, because I won't say it. So you go ahead and just share with me your thoughts here. I'll keep my mouth shut. I'll be a good wife. Go.
Why? That's no fun. Yeah. No, my thoughts on this are, I spent 95% of my adult life working in the federal or state government, and they have a requirement for separation of church and state, so they can't favor one religion over another, and they've actually, the culture today has taken that way to the extreme, way beyond what the founding fathers meant by that. But be that what it is, when I was in the Army, interesting dichotomy there, a contradiction, separation of church and state, but we're going to allow the military to have chaplains, because if we're going to have our young men and women going to war and going into battle, we want to take care of their religious well-being, because that's important to their overall
that's a good
mental
point.
health.
Wow, it hurts.
And so you had the ability to have your beliefs and share your beliefs and put those beliefs on display and exercise those religious beliefs. You had that right in the Army. But when it comes to, holidays, sometimes there was a move in the Army to move more toward happy holidays, because, the military is a melting pot of, the national population. And we go into places where Merry Christmas could be offensive to some. And you make some of those adjustments for the greater cause, not to sell out, because there are national implications sometimes. I never had that problem. I lived all around the world, and in Turkey we celebrated Christmas, and they celebrated it with us, and we celebrated their holidays. Ramadan.
I read about Ramadan. Yeah, that's what in the article.
But you gain an appreciation for those cultures, and their celebrations, and they gain an appreciation for yours. Learning what your celebrations are, and the nature behind it. But working for the state, kind of as X described, same issue. They have to separate church from state. The question is, are you willing to stand behind your values, and where do you need to make the stand? You don't need to make a stand everywhere. It's about where are you going to make a stand? And my stand was, I care more about my people, so I'm going to pray over my people. And I can't tell you how many people I had come up after those and say, we appreciate you for praying over us. We thank you. We're excited about having someone who believes in that and takes that stand. It's been missing for so long. We're excited to have that. So I got lots of very positive feedback, and people were appreciative that I would do that for them.
Because it went
So,
beyond.
you know,
It went beyond. And you
yeah.
actually have, I don't even think you realize it, there's a video about you praying that's out there on Facebook. I got tagged
Are
on
you
it.
serious?
Yep, I got tagged on it. Somebody who watches this show tagged me, and it was about you praying, and they talked about your prayer with Xavier was so powerful. This person literally got a negative test result of cancer. So we're talking
Oh,
about,
I know who
that
it is. I
moment
know who it
you
is.
go into that hospital. I mean, literally, it's
Yeah.
like, man, I just think
Yeah.
about that. We just got to make a stand. And in that moment, and this is what I do love about you, baby. Even in that moment, you knew kind of what that would mean. You didn't care. You knew you had to go. So I love that. And so with that, you guys, again, welcome all of you. Welcome, Patty. So glad that you're here. Miss Patty Butler, Wayne Wright. Welcome, welcome. And I'm going to put up Rachel's comment here. I'm so glad I changed the color where it blocks out Byron and it blocks out Jeff, but it's a beautiful red. She says, my last job, I was an HR safety coordinator for a privately owned manufacturing company, the owner as well as all of the top professionals. Okay, she has it over here. Hold on. Including myself, we're all Christians. They held a Bible study on Wednesday during lunch. Wow. In the owner's office, and after work, they all prayed for the company. It was a blessing to always hear Christian music in the office and always have such a positive atmosphere. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That's a great story. I didn't mean to cover you, Jeff and Byron, but I knew that was a good testimony right there that I needed to do that. And so last question, you basically have 2 minutes to answer this because it's a tough one, but I want to see how we can do this tough question. Okay, so I'm going to read it. Do you feel that those who decide to call it a holiday that are Christians, or even those who aren't, that it shows a disrespect to Christ? And I really want to stick it to, to the part of my question here when it comes to followers of Christ, because there are several percentages of people who are followers of Christ that now will not say Merry Christmas or Happy Christmas. They say Happy Holidays. And do you feel that by it's not saying Merry Christmas or Happy Christmas, that it is in any way showing disrespect to Christ or denouncing their faith or belief in any way? Tough question. No, I'm only giving you 2 minutes. Okay, but here we go. And because my strongest person down there at the bottom were these two gentlemen, they ain't moving, they said. So I'm going to go to Byron first. And you got 2 minutes, Byron. I'm looking at the clock to answer that question and how you feel about that. If people don't stand firm, as you said, or, I ain't moving, this is what I'm saying. It's no negotiation. But how do you feel about people who say they are followers of Christ and lovers of Christ if they don't? Hot seat. I know. 2 minutes. Go.
Yeah, I just started my clock. You know what? I like what Q said, and I agree. And something Jeff said earlier. I think the situation will warrant when you should hold true to who you are, right, as a Christian. There's a benefit in doing that. You'll have an opportunity to have a conversation that you wouldn't have otherwise. If I say Happy Holidays, you have you have no way of affiliating with me with any one particular belief. I think me announcing and saying Merry Christmas gives you an opportunity to understand where I come from, what my beliefs are, a little bit more about me. Consider yourself lucky, right? Yeah, I'm being funny. So, but I also feel that you need to use an opportunity. Well, it's literally what I said already. Use that opportunity to basically hold to yourself. I'm not necessarily thinking it's if any one particular person decides not to say Merry Christmas, that you're necessarily not holding up to being a Christian. I would say, the day that you wouldn't sacrifice it on absolutely should be on the day that we are celebrating it on, which is the 25th. I'm not going to be saying Happy Holiday to anyone on the 25th. I don't care who you are. You're going to get Merry Christmas from me wherever I'm at. If I'm at my place of employment, I'm at your house. You invite me over on the 25th and I show up. You getting a big fat Merry Christmas. And if you don't like it, I'm taking my gifts back. That's all I'm saying. 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Oh my God. I knew already. I figured I'm going to go to Byron and Jeff, and this is good. Just Jeff, I'm going to let you close out. I'm sorry, I lied. I'm going to let you close out. Oh my gosh. Quint, what is your thought? Set your clock, okay? Byron did good. 2 minutes. Here we go. What's your thoughts? Go.
I don't have a clock, so you're gonna have to keep me.
All right,
keep me,
I'll do that,
true.
babe. I got your back. Go.
Yeah, no, I don't. I personally don't think that someone is being disrespectful to Christ. I don't think someone who decides to say Happy Holiday is a sellout. You know what I mean? But the Apostle Paul said, "I try to be all things to all people," and if in his mind, if saying Happy Holiday opened the door for him to at some point in time share Christ, he'd say Happy Holiday, because his faith and his faith and his truth and who he is and who Jesus is to him isn't wrapped up in whether or not I say Merry Christmas or Happy Holiday. Okay, that's just, I'm just keeping it real. My faith and my belief isn't bound by whether I say one or the other. Now, I'm a Merry Christmas guy because that's just who I am. But I've described scenarios where I've had to say Happy Holidays, and I'm okay with that. I don't get wrapped around the axle over it.
Mm-hmm.
Again, if it helps me build a relationship with someone, if it helps me not offend them so much so that I can build a relationship and can share at some point in time, so that I can at least have like Jeff likes to say, at least have the conversation about why I say Merry Christmas. Let me tell you why that's important to me, right? I think that's more important than what whether I say this or that. I don't think it's a sellout. I'm not denying. I myself don't believe that I'm denying my faith in any way, because the Lord knows my heart. The Lord sees my heart, and he knows where I stand with that.
Well, go on with your bad self then. I like this. Get some diversity in this last question. I love it. All right, Xavier. I'm going to repeat the question. Hey, Dale, you're late, Dale. Where were you? From Jamaica. Where you at? Where were you? And hey, Leighton again. All right, the question, Xavier, do you feel that those who decide to call it a holiday versus Christmas are in any way showing disrespect to Christ, and even those who are followers of Christ who choose to say holiday opposed to Christmas? What are your thoughts?
I don't think they are. I don't think they're being disrespectful to God by just saying Happy Holidays or Merry Christmas. Like Quint says, like for me, I'm a Merry Christmas guy, so that's what you're gonna get out of me. That's what I was raised on saying. They might have been raised on saying Happy Holidays. I don't know. But to me, no, I don't feel like there's a disrespect when somebody says Happy Holidays rather than Merry Christmas. I do, however, feel like there's a disrespect when they say Merry Xmas.
Oh.
Okay. So every time I see that, I get really offended, especially when I notice it's a person that's a Christian, when they say like, hey, Merry Xmas or whatever. And I'm like, yo, hold up, homie. Like,
that's
Xmas,
a whole nother topic, Xavier. Well, that's good.
Woo. Like,
welcome, Teresa.
But so to me, between like Happy Holidays and Merry Christmas, they're kind of, but Merry Christmas is what you're supposed to say. But when you say Merry Xmas, to me, that's more disrespectful as a Christian. If you're a Christian and you're saying Merry Xmas, to me, I'm kind of like, hey, you don't cross Christ's name like that,
Yeah.
So
like an X, Xing out Christ is what that is. Xing it out. But putting an X there. Well, that's good, Xavier. Wow, look at you, Xavier. That's really good. Like, now I'm offended.
Yeah, I do.
Now I got a problem if you are really a Christian or not. Look at Xavier. Xmas. What? For moving his name like that. If you go say more, it's Christmas. I love that, Xavier. Woo! Okay, Jeff, let me get ready for you. Okay. All right, Jeff.
Let me go get my asthma pump real quick. Hold on, Jeff. I'm ready.
All right, Jeff, I'm ready for you. The last spot goes to you as we get ready to close out. I'm gonna play the video again of the giveaways. Look at Byron. Indeed, Merry Christmas. I love that. So I'm gonna play that video after you speak and then close this out as we get ready to stream on YouTube. But I'm ready for you, Jeff. Go.
I will tell you that I agree with all three of my brothers, their perspective. And one of the things that, I've learned through this process of being on with you guys on a weekly basis is that I'll never question someone's walk. When we went through the process of Jesus having someone on the cross,
Come on.
ask him to prepare a place for him.
Yes, come on, Luke.
So it's not for us to determine where someone's at in the process of their walk. And when someone says something, you don't know where they're at in their relationship with Christ, simply because they say some words doesn't separate them from Christ. We're not the ones to be judging that. So I don't think they're being disrespectful. Everybody, when you look at how people operate in the world, like X and Quint and your brother are warriors. They stand their ground, they do their thing. There are people who are believers who, in the way they walk in their life, shows the world that they're Christians, but they're not going to be the people that are going to confront people face to face or in a situation that confrontation comes up. We're not built that way. We're all built differently. So how they choose to navigate is a personal choice for them. And for us to have any judgment on that, I think is just displaced, especially if they're a believer. To judge another believer about choices that they make. So I don't think they're being disrespectful. I think everybody's choosing how they navigate and what level of discomfort they're willing to suffer in a situation.
That's your timer, Jeff.
So I just think it's something to be considered, that everybody has their own walk and everybody has their own relationship and everybody has their own view, and allow them to be in that space. And like Quentin said, we're not always meant to show up at every opportunity to fight.
It's good. Sometimes
that battle is just not worth it. We should go on and do something else. But I just think that we all have our own place. And, it rings weird to me when I hear people say happy holidays, with the exception of the fact that it's right after Halloween, because it includes the rest of the year.
Yeah.
But I just think, and also that's an opportunity for us to discuss, what their beliefs are. If we know they're a believer, and have that conversation with them, because it might be that they don't feel they have the community support to be able to be in that position if something should occur.
That's really good.
We're all built different. So it's always interesting to me for me to figure out or think about why they made that particular choice and what maybe I can do to encourage them to make a different choice in the future, if I believe that that's where we all should be.
Wow.
My personal belief.
Well, I love every single one of your answers. And I know everybody's like, okay, TA, what about you? This is where I sit. And I think it's a perspective that I must sit, especially when you choose to give your life to Christ and do his work. You got to sit in a place of 50,000 feet higher. You can't look at things as the way they are presented to you in front of what you can see. You got to think about there's more that you can't see, which is kind of what you guys are saying. I believe wholeheartedly, and this is my hope, this is my prayer, this is what just sits really strong in me, that I think that as people continue to walk with Christ, continue to give over other places of their life to Christ, because we go through this step of giving our heart, and really maybe not even our heart first. We give our soul, like I need you because my soul is suffering. And then as we start to study Christ, just like in a relationship, we start to learn him, and we start to know him. We start to have feelings and emotions. I don't think we necessarily, all of us, have emotions for him, yet. We're still human. And then we start to see God show up in our life. And then there's a heart that starts to pump, and the pumping of the heart, can be appreciation and gratitude. It can definitely be love and the different levels of love. And God talked about the different levels of love. And I do agree. If we can see people who walked with Christ in Luke denounce him at a moment when here he's been walking and God still chose them as disciples when he came back and still said, you're perfect. But the thing I love about that, because that's grace and that's the Lord knowing that everybody's walk is different. But I do believe, just like we saw the conversion with all of his disciples that were frail and weak and scared and ran, even though they walked with Christ, that once they truly understood who Christ was, like for real, because think about it, there's a whole nother relationship and a reality that took place when you saw Jesus die on a cross, but there he is right in front of you 3 days later. Something different happens. There's a conversion, Lord, you keep doing it, a metamorphosis that happens as we grow, that I do believe this. Don't have stats, but I'm going to put my flag here, that I think that as we continue to grow in Christ, that we truly give him all the pieces of our life. And we see him work in our life in a way that nobody could. We see him be there for us in a way that nobody was. We see him be the rock and the person that we can count on no matter what. I believe wholeheartedly something different changes in you, that you become stronger. You become passionate. You do become that person that you're not trying to offend anybody, but it just seems a little weird to you because of all of what he's done. I mean, the person on the cross didn't know Christ like that. He didn't have a life with Christ. He didn't have Christ working in his life. He didn't know the magnitude of what God could do in his life. He had no clue. But lo and behold, those of us that do and that give our life to him, that study the word, that don't just read the word, but step into word, that continue to work at the word until it becomes behavior, until it becomes second nature, that we don't even realize it's activating on its own. I'm going to put my flag on the fact that I truly believe that people will choose to say Merry Christmas on the day of Christ's birthday, because they will now have a true understanding of who he is, what he is, and that sacrifice that he made and what it did. And more so, all of these things lined up. And it could only be one big thing. It could be a lot of what he's done for them. I just feel the heart now, the mind, everything about you just chooses to look at saying happy holidays in a different way, to where, man, I gotta say Merry Christmas to you, because I know what this day and what this is all about. And so that's not judging anybody. That's just saying I feel as we grow and we see Christ working in our life, he just has a way of taking your heart and just transfiguring it and branding it with his name on it. So it just draws you to things and you become more passionate about speaking up and saying who he is to you. And at any chance you can get, you gonna celebrate him and stand strong in him. That's what I feel and I believe. And so with that, you guys, man, what a great topic tonight. I'm excited about next week's topic. Gentlemen, I'll go ahead and give it to you, Byron, in a week advance. Ooh. It is Home Alone, just like the movie. Home Alone is what we're going to be talking about, because in the holidays, there are people who are home alone in the holidays, or people who have lost significant people and they're home alone in the holidays. We got to talk about it. Okay, and of course, I'm going to be bringing my movie with Little McLaughlin. You know, I love his movies because he tore up that house because the enemy knew he was alone. Come on, I'm going to flip that movie to a scripture, to a Bible story. The enemy knew he was alone, and what did the enemy do? Showed up and attacked him. But my boy was ready. When the enemy came in, he tore up the enemies. See how I did that with Home Alone? Come on, y'all. I'm just a movie reel for Christ. Come on, y'all. Give me any movie. It could be a horror flick. And I will make it a Bible story. Come on. Woo! You guys, thank you for joining me, my co-host of the night, Q, Byron, man, Brother Jeff, Brother X, Man, I love y'all. Some big stuff. And thank y'all for tuning in tonight, man. And so glad all of you guys were able to join us. Walter Wilson, man, welcome. Junie Morales, welcome. Vicente del Hidalgo, welcome. So glad that you've joined. Teresa Myers, I said a shout out to you earlier, but didn't get your last name in. And make sure you guys that you join us here next week. Okay, as well as we'll be talking about Home Alone, and to make sure you join me tomorrow morning. I love that you guys are hopping on with me as we are breaking down, you guys, Luke 8. And tomorrow we're at one of the most biggest pieces of all is where Jesus now comes and he is approached by a man who's possessed with many demons. Woo, this is going to be good. And to see how God handled it all, but to see how the enemy handled it, the demons handled it, is something we must break down and learn, you guys. And that's at 8:45 a.m. Central Standard, 9:45 on the East Coast, right here on the Superhero for Christ page, you guys, and also on YouTube on the Tracy Casey-Arnold page. I love you guys. Be blessed. And I'm going to play my video again, you know, of our giveaways because I have to. So here we go. And then I'll play the outro. You guys be blessed. Bye-bye.